Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Mystery Writer speaking, and welcome to the show. Today, I am going to be reviewing the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. That's right, I have literally just come back from watching Sonic the Hedgehog in theaters. Something about a year ago I never actually thought I would do. When I first saw some of the promotional art, I was skeptical of the film, and my fears were only strengthened by that. Oh, terrible trailer. Ooh. Ah, okay. Wow. Wow. That trailer was borderline unwatchable. And yet it was one up later that summer by Cats. My gosh. What what were they thinking? And while Cats ultimately failed because it really didn't listen to the backlash, only making minimal changes such as adding some detail to the cats and improving on the rendering, Sonic the Hedgehog did the opposite. It actually changed the overall design of the main character and even got rid of some of the cringy jokes from the trailer. And to my surprise, this actually worked. I'm legitimately surprised that this movie was as good as it was. Granted, it's not Oscar worthy by any means, but I definitely would say that is above average. It's a good family film. I would definitely say that. It's how do I put this? Well, it made me laugh. It was exciting, had good action. The cinematography was average for this kind of film, but they definitely tried to do some artistic shots. Um, by the way, this is completely unscripted. I just got back to my apartment and just sort of saying whatever is coming to my mind. But yeah, regardless, Sonic the Hedgehog movie is a massive success too. I mean, it's made about $64 million for the entire weekend already. Like a 4 day weekend. Ow, I just hit my computer. Dang, gotta be careful where I put my hands. But yeah, uh, it made $64 million for the weekend so far. A 4 day weekend, and it's expected. Like my gosh, this film did so well. I mean, when I didn't even expect the theater to be as packed as it was. I mean, my gosh, I have not seen a theater that packed as in a long while. My gosh. Then again, I don't normally go to opening weekends for certain movies because I know how crowded they can be. But I wanted to check out Sonic the Hedgehog, and I have to say that it was worth the experience. Yeah. Plus, I can honestly say that Sonic actually achieved something that Mario couldn't. Make a good movie. In case you have been living under a rock since the 1990s, there is a little old movie from the 1990s called The Super Mario Brothers, starring Dennis Hopper and a bunch of other people. And it's notoriously bad. Plagued with production problems, including a husband and wife duo of directors that constantly argued and changed the script on a daily basis, it ultimately failed because it was nothing like the original broad product that it was based off. Personally, I actually enjoy the movie, but not because I think it's a good movie, no, but because I mean I watched it as a kid and does definitely has a nostalgic aspect to it. But I also think it's one of those movies that it's so bad it's good. More on that later. maybe in a future video or review on DeviantArt, whatever. But yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog produced a good movie. Sega and Paramount produced a good movie. So yeah, it was a great surprise to me. And it's actually good to see that Sonic one up Mario for once in its existence. Plus, we had Tails in the movie. Yes, Tails is in the movie. Please let it be in the sequel. Please let it be in the sequel. Please let there be a sequel. I mean, of course, there's going to be a sequel. This movie practically is already a blockbuster by now. But, anyways, the animation of the first sequence was actually really good. Seeing Sonic as a kid, a younger kid, because apparently he's still a child. How old was he in the beginning? 5? Huh. Kind of weird. But, anyways, seeing Sonic in his original world was actually an animation marvel. The rendering, the designs were all great. Although I do have to ask one question. Why do the Echidna tribe and Tails and Sonic look more like their video game counterparts, and yet Longclaw, the the quote unquote Obi-Wan Kenobi of Sonic the Hedgehog, look more like a realistic owl? Interesting choice, but it's still really well done. Well, let's start off with the positives. All right. The special effects were good. I mean, not every effect was 100%, but the majority of the special effects were excellent, especially the robots. Um, the acting was surprisingly solid. It was very well, it was decently done. I wouldn't say, again, this is not Oscar worthy acting by any means, and stuff like that. But I would definitely say that James Marsden was a surprise. He proved that he can play a character other than Cyclops, which is saying something considering that he's kind of had a downhill career since leaving X Men. So it's nice to see that he's in somewhat top form. Yeah, and secondary characters were nice, and the voice work for Sonic was better than I thought it was going to be. It was it was pretty solid. I had to say it was pretty solid. The acting was solid all across the board. Let's see what else. Again, the cinematography wasn't the greatest. Average, decently average for this kind of film. It's just kind of the shots that you would expect from a family film. But they did definitely try to do some artistic shots, such as with Jim Carrey dancing around in his evil lab as Dr. Robotnik. And oh, speaking of Jim Carrey, it's really nice to see Jim Carrey back in his top-notch comedic form. I mean, this is probably his funniest role since a series of unfortunate events, Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events. Excuse me. So yeah, he was top notch and probably the best actor in the whole movie. What can I say? I don't think he single handedly saved the movie like a lot of people originally thought, but he definitely helped. A majority, anyways. His delivery and the fact that he went overboard with the whole robot thing was just icing on the cake. let's see. And now the story. The story again was not 100%. Um, the majority of it though was great. I like the whole buddy road trip aspect of the film between Sonic and James Marsden's Tom character. Uh, them getting hunted down by Dr. Robotnik, expertly played by Jim Carrey, was great, and he even felt like a video game at times. And I have to say, it's kind of weird. It's a video game movie that actually feels like a movie and a video game all in one. It's kind of weird. Normally, you get one or the other. You get a video game movie that feels more like a video game, or a video game movie that feels more like a movie that sucks at being a movie. We're looking at you, Assassin's Creed. But yeah, it felt like a movie. It felt like a movie with video game elements. And that's seemingly very tricky for Hollywood to pull off, and yet it did. All right, so now for the negatives. I've already mentioned the cinematography thing, it was average, but there's more to it than that. I said that I liked the story, a majority of the story, but there is some subplots that, while I wouldn't say was unnecessary, I would definitely say definitely were predictable. They were kind of stuff that you would expect from a movie like this, like James Marsden's whole shtick about wanting to leave and prove himself, and Sonic getting mad at him because he wants to leave his home, stuff like that. And let's see what else. Yeah, and yeah, the movie was predictable. In some parts, anyway. It's not the most predictable film of all time, but definitely had some predictable elements and definitely had some cringy elements. Why? Why did they make Sonic floss? Why did they make Sonic floss? Not once, but twice. Why? That song went that excuse me. That dance went out of style about a year ago, even before Sonic was supposed to be released the first time. Why do they think that people want to see Sonic floss? No one was excited about that. I mean, the kids, which I'm surprised there were a ton of. Why was I surprised by that? But anyways, the kids liked it, but I think all the adults in the audience were just kind of like, but yeah. Um, the worst part of the movie was definitely the product placement. Yep. There were times in this movie that it felt less like a movie and more like a commercial. A really, really cringy commercial. I mean, for some reason, we got to see Zillow on a computer screen. Like, oh yeah, I just checked out Zillow for an apartment in San Francisco. Ooh. Okay. That was kind of okay. And then they mentioned Olive Garden and how great it is, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, okay, yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah, okay, okay, that was kind of funny. All right. And then they mentioned Olive Garden again with a gift card. Freaking sticking gift card towards the end of the movie. And they said, then one guy says, have you checked out their bottomless pasta bowls? It's endless. Yes. We've heard it in the commercials for Olive Garden. We get it. Olive Garden helped fund the movie. Here's an idea. Mention it once. But yeah, wasn't a perfect movie, but it was so much more enjoyable than the first trailer made it out to be. This is a film that actually listened to its audience in order to improve before release. Paramount was very smart. Paramount and especially the director, excuse me, were very smart to listen to the audience. Now we got one film, Cats, that didn't listen to 100% of the criticism that the first trailer received and failed miserably at the box office. And then you got Sonic the Hedgehog, which listened to its audience and achieves greatness at the box office and with fans. It is one of those rare video game movies that actually succeeded, not just critically. I mean, yeah, it received mixed reviews, like what, 64% on Rotten Tomatoes, but with fans. I mean, it has like 95% on Fandango. That's pretty good. And yeah, I can see why. It was enjoyable. It's a good family film. Didn't try to be rude and crude 100% of the time. The slow motion scenes were great. Yeah, it was a very enjoyable film. Not, I wouldn't say it's a immediate classic or anything, but it's an enjoyable film to spend time with the family with. Yeah, that's what I would say about it. So, all in all, I give this film, uh, from my scale of 1 to 5, I give it a 4.4. It's above average in terms of entertainment value, the acting involved, the special effects, but definitely failed in some regards to the script and especially the cringiness of certain parts, like the flossing Sonic and not shutting up about Olive Garden. But yeah, overall, the Sonic movie was a pleasant surprise. I greatly enjoyed it. And I even recommend it. If you have free time, go see it if you haven't already. All right. Well, this has been the Mystery Writer. And until next time, sayonara. Wait, how am I supposed to walk away? This is my apartment. I usually just walk off the screen, but it's just kind of like I'm at my apartment with it. How am I? I think I'll just go this way. Walking away, and I'm back. Bye bye.